Can you see my screen?
No. Yeah, right now.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
yes, yes, right. My name is Saurabh. I have more than, this is 3-year-old slide. So I'm almost 18 years experience now. And I started my career as software developer and now into business analyst. So, I know, like, you want to move to business analyst and that's why you're here, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, like what factors did you choose to from software developer to this business analyst? Like
Correct.
for you?
Correct. So what I have done here is I have divided this course into 2 parts. Okay. So 60% of the stuff is about the core BA, what BA does, what you are expected to do as a BA. And the
Okay.
remaining 40% is about the IT field itself, right? What are different technologies and other things in the IT field. And
Okay.
apart from that, okay, I'm going to give you an assignment today itself. Okay,
Okay.
that will help you to understand what skill set you need to develop your career. Okay, I'll give you an exercise before we end today's session. I'll give you a small assignment. Okay,
Sure.
so when you do that, you will know what all things you need to learn to be to clear the BA interviews. Okay.
Sure.
And see, the BA means it's all theory. Okay, so of course we will have theory, and if you want to make it more interesting, and if you really want to, practice and get things, learn things faster, you need to do assignments. So almost every class, I'll give you small assignments. Okay, because see, it's a theory, right? So you have to practice along with the course, right? Because if you don't practice now, what will happen is then towards the end, a lot of things will get piled up, right?
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong way of doing things. Okay, it is different way of doing things. So that makes it even more difficult, right? If you do it wrong, somebody will say, oh, this is wrong. No, you shouldn't do like that. But here there's no wrong way. Okay, it's a different way. It's about how much can you complete. Okay, it's about completing and getting it right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So let's get into the content, and I want it to be more interactive. So whenever you feel like that, you need more information, you want me to repeat something, or you want to add something from your experience, please stop me and do so. Okay, because it otherwise will be like boring. Like you'll also feel sleepy. So we don't want to do that, right? Okay. So with that, let's get into this. So first presentation, you see I have about 41 slides here. So here I'll give you view about BA at a 40,000 feet height. At that height, you know what exactly this BA is. Then the next set of presentations will come down to maybe 10,000 feet height. We'll get into a little more detail. And then finally, we get down to the ground. Okay, we'll do hands-on.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the first slide I talk about, okay, when I talk about BA, okay, whenever I speak about BA, this is the first thing I do, okay. So see here, when you look at the biggest picture that you see building right in the between, that's called business process, right?
Yeah.
Every business has its own set of processes. Okay. So if it is hospital, their process is to provide good care to the patient, right? When patient comes, they need to provide care. If you talk about bank, their job is to, of course, keep your money safely and then provide different kinds of plans, right? Schemes. So we have saving schemes, mortgage plans, and things like that, right?
Okay.
If you talk about a manufacturing plant, their job is to manufacture the product. Okay, so the business process is the core job of that business. Okay, and they have to be good with it, right? If they manufacture a defective product, nobody is going to buy, correct? So they have to be good with their business process. They need to do well what they're supposed to do. Okay, so that is given. That is the business that is given. Okay, but as a business, we don't talk about it. Okay, we don't talk about the business process. We talk about all the other factors that impact your business process. Okay,
Okay.
so if you are good at doing what you do, okay, that is good for today, right? Today probably you'll be among the best, but tomorrow you may not be among the best because somebody else will do better than you. If somebody
Yeah.
else starts doing better than you, then you are out of business, right? Nokia phone, if you take 10 years back, 15 years back, they were like, they had the complete control over the market, right? 60, 70, 80% of phones that were sold
Yeah.
was Nokia phone. But what happened today? They were the best, right, in doing what they were doing then. But what happened today, right? Many, youngsters don't even know the name Nokia, isn't it? So
Yeah.
the problem was they were more focused on doing what they were doing, right? No doubt we have to do it. I'm not saying that is bad, but they did not look at other factors. Okay, what the competition was doing, how the technology is changing, right? If they had kept track of it, of all those things, then definitely they had money, they had the best people in their team, right? They could have been the first one to adopt new technology, right? So, but they didn't. So, as a business analyst, our job is to look at those external factors. You call them external factors, you call them constraints, and they're also called as drivers. Okay, because a new company, see, as an old company, okay, so we're talking terms from the old company, right, who is already doing good, and they have to keep track of what's happening in the market. As a new company, okay, if they don't get that advantage, then nobody would start a new company, right? If old company exists to be best forever, the new companies would not come up, isn't it? So
Yeah.
these are also opportunity for companies to differentiate themselves and there's a competition in the market. So the first thing that we have to look, okay, as a business analyst is competition, right? Okay, we are doing this, great, but what is our competition doing? Are they offering better service than us? Are they offering product at a lower cost than us? Right? Are they coming out with different model altogether? Right? Totally different model. Are they coming out with different model altogether? Right? So there are the things that you have to keep track. Okay. You don't want your competition to go too far away from you so that you are not able to do the catch-up game, and sooner or later you'll be out of market, isn't it? So we, as
Yeah.
a business analyst, we need to track competition. We need to look at vendor, because not everything we, as a business, not everything is done in-house, right? Let's talk about iPhone. Everything is outsourced.
Yes.
Somebody else will provide the
Assembling.
assembly, right? So they get everything done from different vendors and they assemble. Assembling is also done by third party, right?
Yeah.
So now see, if let's say, let's suppose that they start using defective screen for phone, right? And within a week, you see some problem with the screen breaks, or screen bends, or something or the other happens, the touch is lost or whatever, right? Now,
Yeah.
Apple cannot say, see, we don't manufacture screens, so that's not our fault. Can they say no? Right? So when as a business, when they partner with different vendors, okay, and you're putting your name on it, you are the owner, right? If screen
You're
is
responsible.
right, it's the Apple's responsibility, yes, in this case, right? So if you won't be running around to fix screen with somebody else, right? You'll be approaching Apple itself to fix the problem. So the vendor is also one important aspect. Your process is great, but your vendor is not, then you will lose customer, you will lose business, right? And then then you have consumers there on the left side, you see. Consumers are the people who's going to consume, like, end person. Okay, now if you look at any business, okay, simple is to explain about retail, right? So let's say you want to buy a toothpaste, right? So you'll go to a retail store and you'll buy the toothpaste. Now the product is manufactured by Colgate maybe, okay, or Unilever, or different vendors. Now the product, okay, is manufactured, then it is sent to through transportation to, let's say, Walmart or any store. So what happens? Every process that you see, we don't go to Colgate company and buy. We have to go to retail store, right? So the factory has to send it to retail store. So when we go to these retail stores, okay, okay, and the product, when you see it coming from Colgate to the retail store, everybody in the chain who's contributing for the product to come from factory to the store is actually adding cost, isn't it? Manufacturer is adding cost, the distribution, the transport guy is adding cost, retailers will also add cost, right? So everybody's adding cost. Who is making payment? It's we. When we buy the toothpaste, that's when money payment is done, and everybody in the chain will get the payment, right? Yes. If we don't buy, as a consumer, if we don't buy, then nobody's going to make money, right? So it is important that whenever you are making or doing any business, you have to look at consumers. You have to look at their needs, okay, their preferences. And based on that, you will you will make your product, right? So if there is no takers for iPhone, right, then whatever they do, right, they will not be any buyer, then they will not make money. Just that there's a lot of demand, right? Whatever price they are putting, people are buying. Okay, now if the product is not good, nobody will buy. So whatever you do, you have to keep the end consumers in your mind, right? Now see, end consumer is not just one, right? Some people look for quality, some people look for cost, some people will like to play in between. Okay, they need to pay a little more, but they want better quality, right? There are different kinds of people. So that's why you have different companies. Some companies which focuses on cost, while some companies which focuses on service quality, right? Because we have different types of consumers. So you need to decide which customer or which customer base you want to target, right? So you decide which customer base you want to target, and then you have to create product for that customer base, isn't it? So you have to look at consumers. Okay, these are what we call as input constraints. Okay, so the input to the business process is dictated by this, right? Now let's say for some reason, let's say you need copper wire as input, and let's assume that there is no manufacturer for copper wire. Then what? You'll have to change your business process, right? You'll have to change it to something which is available in the market. So either you make it or you'll have to change it, so that, because just because you need it, you cannot get it, right? You have to find a vendor. So your business process is dependent on vendor. Your business process is dependent on your consumer. Consumer doesn't want, okay, the products are not selling, you cannot keep on manufacturing more, right? And similarly competition, right? So competition is doing something better, you should also start doing something better, right? So your input is dependent on so many different factors, right? Yes. Now you come to the output part, okay, there are constraints like technology, right? If technology has improved, okay, sorry?
Advancement in technology.
Yes, advancement in technology, right? So see, generally when we do advancement in technology, what happens is your process become more efficient and lower cost.
Yes.
Right? So now you cannot say that, right? You cannot say that, I will not use this, right? Because if you do not use it and your competition will use it, their cost will be lower, right? and your cost will be higher.
Yes.
Correct? Now, if that is the case, then what happens? Nobody will buy, right? So if you are providing same kind of product at a lower cost, right? So definitely everybody will move towards that. Everybody likes to buy if the quality is same, right? I'm talking about the same quality. Okay, if there's quality is same, then everybody will move to the lower cost.
Yes.
Right? So that this is what we are talking about when we say technology, right? We must adopt technology if that makes our product cheaper, better. Partner, same thing I spoke about the toothpaste example. Manufacturer cannot say that I don't want to partner with retailers. They have to partner. The retailers is only where people go to buy stuff. So as a manufacturer, I have to enter into the agreement with a retailer. Okay. Maybe if I'm not able to enter into all the retailers, but at least some retailers, because if I don't partner with a retailer, then I will not be able to sell my product. So you need to partner. You need to have some kind of long-term arrangement, and all these arrangements should be win-win for both, right? Retailers should also make money, and your company should also make money. So you have partners. Then you have legal, right? Now,
Yes.
as a business, you have to follow the legal documents or legal requirements. You cannot say that, no, I don't care about legal thing, right? Because if you do not follow legal things, the government will come and shut your shop, right? So these are the factors which impacts your output, right? There's something that you want to make, but legally it's not permitted. You will not make it, right? So your output is also constrained by the legal requirements. Apart from that, you have regulatory requirements, right? We have ISO standards and things like that. You have to meet those standards, right? If you don't meet the standards, you will not get required certification, and maybe some customers may not buy, right? Political situations, right? Gun example in US, right? If political party says that we are going to stop the public sale of guns, right? So if you are a gun manufacturer, then you have to reduce the production. You have to do something different. You cannot keep on producing same product because the government or the political situation is against you. Or if somebody is promoting that, okay, we will give discount on something like, say, electronic vehicles these days, right? All governments are giving discounts because they want it, the manufacturers to make more of electronic vehicles. So political situation can help you or discourage you, right? Generally, the tax component that we see is to discourage or encourage. If the tax goes down, that means government want you to do that. If tax goes up, government doesn't want you to do that, right? So political situation is also important when you're doing the business, right? So as a BA, you have to look at all these aspects. You have to look at competition, vendors, consumers, technology, partners, legal, political, will of the government, and your regulatory requirements. And all these together decide your business process. Okay, so you impact the business process, okay, indirectly and also directly. Okay, we don't do business process. We don't become doctors. As a business analyst, we don't go and treat patient. Okay, we don't go and develop code, right? Even in the IT thing, we don't go and start writing code, but our analysis will impact the code, right? Will impact how a hospital functions, how a bank functions.
Yeah.
You understood at a high level what BA does?
Yeah.
And now slowly we'll come down to our IT domain, right? This is like, see, when you talk about even from IT perspective, we call it business analyst. We don't say IT analyst or software analyst, right? We still say business analyst. That means the focus is business. Okay.
Yes.
Focus is growth of business. Focus is how do you improve the business? How do you, improve the profitability, improve the sales, reduce the cost of the business. So that's the end objective of business anyways. Now coming to the software world, okay, and software started being developed 50, 60, 70 years back, right? So during that time, okay, it was like they were developing small applications, isn't it? So, one person companies or maybe 3-4% companies were common. We didn't have companies across different geographies. And forget about countries and continents. Like, even the cities, they would not do in the same country in different cities, right? They'll sit in same office, they'll start coding. Most of the product which were initially developed, right? It was one person actually. One person started it and they started coding, started selling. And after some point, it became so big that they had to hire more people. So they hired more people. They sat in the same office and they worked. But as product become more and more complex, right? You needed to hire more people. When you need to hire more people, you need to have a standard process on which they work, right? Because if you do not have a process, it's very difficult to manage each individual, right? So IT companies, they started or they felt the need of project management processes. Okay, how do we manage the project? Okay, I need to develop this feature. How will I manage this feature? So they came up with these 4 stages. Okay, we call it as plan, build, test, and implement it. And companies started investing, training people on these things. So plan is to design or to actually plan. Okay, what should we build? Okay, so for example, if you say this BA course itself, right? So for this training, okay, I'll take bad examples, okay, so that you understand. And see, this is not the answer that you'll give in training, but this is more in the interview. But this is more from you to understand the process, and then we will, we'll talk about the actual example. So if we take about this training as a bad example, so planning would means what? Okay, so what topic you need. Okay, so who will be the instructor? What will be the timing of the course? When do we start? These are the things that we plan, right? Faculty, yes, training, time, all those things. So that's the planning is done. Then start building it. Building is the training that we are doing. So what we are doing right now is building, right? So in software world, it is coding. You start coding, right? And we are executing as per our plan, right? We are executing as per our plan. Then you have test. Okay, test is like in software world. We software is little different. Okay, than most of the things, because in software you can redo stuff, right? If you make a mistake, you can go back and fix it. You can't do that when you're building a bridge, right? If you build a wrong, you cannot say, okay, let's undo this, right? So that's where IT is a little different, okay, than other industry. Here you get second chance, right? But again, see, getting second chance is easy, but second chance also means that you have to reinvest cost. You have already done something, developed a product, software. Now, if you have to redo it, that means you have to work again. Work again means cost, right?
Yeah, reinvesting time and money also.
Exactly. So testing is to test whether what you're supposed to do, the planning, have you met the planning, right? Are things according to the plan? And if answer is yes, then you will go and implement. Implementation means you're going to the customer site and saying, okay, based on our plan, this is what we have created. Now we will deploy or install or give it to you. Take this, right? So this worked well for designing a project. Okay, so you're planning, you're building, you're testing, and you are implementing. But what happened is, even this was not actually working. Okay, and here I'll give some numbers. I'm not going to get down into details of these numbers, but the gist of this is that even after using those processes in place, we still see problems. Okay, half of the projects would cost twice the cost, right? So if you're working, if you are estimating X dollars, it ended up consuming 2X dollars, half of the project, right? 30% of the projects got cancelled. So still there are some problems, okay? So what they figured out was that we are doing excellent as per our plan. Okay, we are planning, we are executing. But again, comparing to training, let's say we planned very well, you got a very good instructor, everything was done well, okay. But now when you get into jobs, you're not getting jobs. Okay, you had a very good trainer, okay, everything was great, you understood everything, you practiced everything, but you are not able to clear the interview. The question is why? Okay, it's because, okay, see, here you see it says that we are spending less on the analysis. Analysis is pre-planning stage. Okay, are you supposed to take BA training itself? Okay, you wanted, Java, let's say, Java is best for you, but you selected BA training, right? So here we are missing what is called analysis. Okay, planning is about execution. You are focusing more on execution, but did you spend time on analysis? Okay, and most of the problems you see is originated at analysis stage. Okay, that means plan was proper, but let's say it's like this. Okay, you want to go to some, let's say your place is very hot, your city is very hot, and you wanted to go to some cooler place, right? Some kind of place where it is cooler, but you book a ticket which is even hotter than your current city, right? So your planning was perfect, okay, you executed it well, everything, you had no problem going to the place, but your analysis went wrong. So analysis, when it goes wrong, it is very difficult to redo stuff, right? So see, if your planning is not good, you might end up spending more money. Let's say, if you plan 1 month in advance, your tickets would be very less. But you did not plan properly. You're flying next week. You ended up paying more money for the flight, right? So fine. So definitely you spent more than what is required. But if your analysis itself is wrong, then everything that you have paid, right, is a waste. You wanted to go to a cooler place, but you ended up at a even more warmer place, even more hotter place. So even if you had done the planning well and everything well, but you are not happy, isn't it? So that's what happens here. So what it says is the project's doomed because we did not do proper pre-planning. So people they realized that before we perform the project management, before we even plan, we need to perform 2 other steps. What we call as describe and define. Describe is defining your current situation. So in this holiday example, defining would be, oh, this place is getting hotter, the temperature has gone beyond this, and it's very difficult to survive. The AC bill is too much, the electricity bill is too much, and we also have vacation. So let's go, and we also need to take vacation. We have not taken vacation for long, so let's take vacation and go to a cooler place. Let's go enjoy for a week or 2 weeks, then come back. So you are okay. So see, after 10 minutes, the meeting will end. So please join with the same link. Okay, we'll have 2 sessions. Okay.
Okay.
The meeting ends. We join back with the same link. Okay. So we're talking about describe. Describe is describing current situation. Current situation means what is the problem that you are facing now. Oh, it's hot. I can't, bear it. Then define what is the solution. Solution is, okay, we need to go to a cooler place. Okay, so you identify a few cities. These are the cities where we can go and spend a couple of weeks. That's called defining. Okay, and then you plan, right? So now you know exactly what you want to do. So again, coming to the training example, the thing would be that you need to get a job. The describe is getting a job. Okay, you need to get into a job, and you are planning to get into a job. So that's the describe. Defining is, okay, these are the skill set I have, And these are the, this is what I want. I want to get into IT job, but I don't want to do the programming because that's not my skill set. Then what else can we do? Non-coding part. Okay, so non-coding part would means doing sales activity, doing project management activities, doing business analysis activities. Okay, so you look at all the three, and then you say, okay, business analysis skill set is what matches my expectation. So this is done in the define stage. Now, if you know that business analysis is what you want to do, even if you have not so good trainer, right? You will, even if if it is not 100% perfect, even 80% perfect also is good, right? But if you get your planning wrong, right, then even 100% perfection plan is going to give you zero result, isn't it? So
Yes.
now you decide, okay, because of these factors, because of these reasons, because of what you want, you selected business analysis. So now you plan for it. Then now you say, okay, I need a trainer for business analysis. This is what I need to do, blah, blah. This is availability and okay. And then you do plan, build, test, implement. So people felt that we need to do something more before planning. And they came up with these two steps called describe and define. And business analysis is all about these two steps, describe and define. So business analysis is also called as what customers want. Okay. Now, if you get what customers want and you deliver it, and customer will accept. Okay. If I start teaching Java, he says, no, I don't want Java. I said, no, don't worry. Let's do Java. What's the point of doing Java if your interest is into business analysis? Isn't it?
Yes.
So it is about what customers want, and then you start planning based on what customers want, what you have come out with define. So your planning has to be on the lines of define. Whatever you have captured and define. So when you create define, right, you have to share with customer. Customer will say, yes, exactly, this is what we are looking for. Then you involve the project team, and they will start. Okay, you involve the project team, and they will start
developing the process.
Exactly. Okay, then they'll plan, they'll build, they'll test, and finally they'll implement. So these are the steps that we follow. So first is business analysis, followed by your project management processes. Okay, so business analysis is all about what customer wants, what needs to be built, and your project management is about how to build it. Okay, which skill set, which technology, okay, and how to build it is about your project management. Okay.
Okay.
So project management manages the project. BA manages the product, not project. Project is a smaller piece compared to product. Product means end to end, from ideation till the project is killed. Project is smaller. Okay, so now we'll talk about a difference between product and project. See, now let's say you want to manufacture pen. Okay, the product is pen. So you will plan. Okay, we need to these are the chemical I need. These are the companies I need to talk to. This is from where I can get the plastic mold. This is where I can get the ink. This is where I can get this. Okay, so you are planning ideation. Okay, what is the cost of pen? Okay, how much profit can I make? What is the investment? Okay, how much money can you make? Does it make sense to start doing that? Okay, or not? These are the questions that you are asking, right? And after doing this analysis, you can say, no, I don't think I'll be able to make enough profit, so let's drop it. Possible, right? But yes, that is still a product. You thought about it and then you dropped it. So this product could not see light of the day, but still that's a product. So you start manufacturing, start selling. After 5 years, you see the people have lost interest in a product because some new product has come, so they are not buying your product. So you decide to end producing that product. So from ideation, right from creating the idea of making pens, manufacturing pens, till you decided to end the production. It could have been 2 months, right? Or it could have been 20 years, right? So product, we don't know the lifespan. It can be few days. Let's say today you plan for something and then you realize by the end of the day that no, it's not going to work. Maybe your idea, your product existing only for a day, right? Your product in the idea form existed only for a day. Sometimes you take a step and you fail and you stop it. So probably 6 months, 1 year. Sometimes your product is so good that it can be in the market for 20 years. If you look at Reynolds kind of pens, ball pens, I don't see any advancement as such in last 20-25 years, isn't it? So
Yes.
it is more or less same. So yes, so if you for that 25 years is also a less time, right? So product does not have a fixed timeline. Okay, it can continue, okay, or sometime after some time definitely it ends, right? Something new will come and this will go away. Now if we talk about project, so before you start doing a project, everything is clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, so project is, let's say if you are building a bridge, so the lifespan could be 10 years, okay? Or if you are doing a small project, it could be a couple of hours. So the project can be a few years or few minutes or few hours, but still it will have the limited time. You cannot say that let's build a bridge and you don't know the time. Okay, even if you talk about big construction which can take years, right? Probably that's the building a bridge, building a metro, trains, these can take long time, years, 5 years,
Yes.
10 years, but still that has a fixed timeline. 10 years is the timeline. So when you take up a project, you have a lot more clarity than when you take a product. When you take a product, you have no clarity because you are doing ideation. So as I said, right, idea could die within an hour only. Okay, or it can go on for 20 years, 25 years without any problem. But project, when you take up, you know that it's going to be for 10 years or for 10 minutes or 10 hours. Okay, that's the biggest difference between project and product. Okay, as a BA, we are responsible for product end to end, right from radiation stage till it is in the market, or do you decide to remove from the market? Okay, the project managers, the PMP course is based on project. The PM means project managers. They manage project. Okay, so in some software perspective, when you take up a project, you know the end objective of the project, you know the people who are going to work with you on the project.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So what is business analysis? Okay, not analyst. Analyst is the person who would do the business analysis. But what is business analysis? Business analysis, the context is business. So let's continue. So what I was saying is that every business, okay, has to do something new, right? Even if you take example of iPhone, right? iPhone, it has so much of demand, but let's say if they don't come out with new features every year, if they don't come out with new features every year, people will stop buying it, isn't it?
Yes.
Every business has to improve. Okay, it could be because of pains. Pains means you have, like for example, Nokia. If you say Nokia is still struggling, right? Nokia still comes out with new products every year. It's a pain for them, right? They were once market leader. Now nobody's bothered to ask them, right? So it's a pain which they want to get rid of. When they launch a new product, they expect that product to do well so that they can gain some of the lost market share. So that's an example of pain. You have some pain, you want to get rid of that pain. It could be hopes. The startups, when they launch their startup companies, it's a hope that, right? So one day they will be able to make it big. So that's the hope that they have. Fears. Okay, iPhone will have fear. Okay, today they're number one, but what if tomorrow somebody else becomes better than them? They'll be out, right? So that's the fear that they have. The number ones, they have already have, they'll have mostly the fears, and they would work because of fear. So they are number one right now, but they want to be in the race. They want to continue to be number one.
Yes.
Or they have some problem, okay, they want to solve the problem, or they see opportunity, okay, some government which has actually closed all the foreign investment, now they open some, right? So it becomes an opportunity for the company to go and invest there. And sometimes government will mandate that you have to do this, so you have to perform, or you have to do, you have to perform
CSR activities.
CSR activities, let's say, yes. So if you have, so they have to hire someone for CSR activities, right? So, so just because government has mandated, you have to do it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's an example of, a mandate. So a business will have need. Every business has need, whether it's a startup or number one or struggling companies. Okay, because of these reasons, pains, hopes, fears, problems, opportunities, mandates, etc., will create need for business. Okay, so that need, okay, so there's a need. Okay, now there will be some requirements. What are the requirements? A business fact. What is the situation? Okay, so so for everything there have to be a there has to be a way to measure it, right? So if it is mandate, then you will see what is the impact of it. Okay, how much, how much of the total revenue they have to put it for CSR activities, right?
Yes.
What all things are considered as CSR activities, right? Okay, so those are called the business facts. So you will understand those facts, then, okay, the possibility, sorry, the conditions. Okay, so for you, right, what all things can you do, and what are different possibilities, right? So as a business analyst, so see, the business need almost every company understands, right? The CEOs will come out with their business requirement, right? So this generally the CSO, chief operating officers, finance officer, business officers, these are the people, okay. So these are the people who will, okay, who will, these are the people who will decide the company's future, right? And then you as a business will look at the facts, possibilities, right? And then combine them together to come up with the final solution.
Solution.
Okay, they will come up with final solution.
Your
And
voice is breaking, Saurav.
is it
Meanwhile,
breaking?
yeah.
Okay, let me know if you still see my voice breaking. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm talking about, the the executives will think of the business need, and you as a BA will combine all these things together, and finally you will deliver a mechanized solution, right? So
Mm.
once you deliver this solution, that will help the business to address pain, hopes, and fears, right? So that is about the business analysis and the product. Okay. Okay. So see, there's an origin called IIBA, International Institute of Business Analysts. So IBA actually sets the best practices for BAs across the board. Okay, and most of the companies they follow IIBA, and IIBA comes up with their own book, their own textbook, and the the presentation that I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you, all those things are based on this IIBA's book. Okay, they call it as BABO. Okay, Business Analyst Book of Knowledge. Okay, and that is like an industry standard. Okay, so so that the definition that you see on the top, okay, is taken from the BAR book, how does Babok describes business analysis process? So what it says is BA or business analysis is the set of tasks and techniques. Okay, simple. BA is set of tasks and techniques. So what we are doing is we are setting of tasks and techniques. So BA is all about tasks and techniques that is used to work as a liaison among stakeholders, right? So that is used to work as a liaison among stakeholders. Okay, liaison means you are bringing them together, right? So you are bringing different stakeholders together in order to understand, okay, structure, policies, and operations of an org. Okay, so see here, let's try to break it this into. So what is BA? BA is set of tasks and techniques. So you would know that in this course we are going to talk about tasks and techniques only, right? What is the use of tasks and techniques? Tasks and tech. That's not a use of tasks and techniques. So what does BA do? How do they get text? How do they get tasks and techniques? Which tasks to perform? Which techniques to use? So techniques is your expertise. Okay. So in our course, we are going to learn different techniques of conducting BA activities. So techniques is your expertise, your capabilities, your understanding, your experience of BA. Task will come from the stakeholders. Stakeholders will tell you this is what I want.
Yes.
Okay? How do you get the task is again we have to learn. That's the technique of getting the tasks from stakeholder, right? We have to conduct different processes, different steps are performed. Those are from the stakeholders, right? So business analysis is a set of tasks and techniques used to work as a liaison among stakeholders in order to understand the structure. Okay, so fine. So first thing is that yes, your expertise, your techniques that you have, and the tasks. How do you get the tasks? By liaising with the stakeholders. Different. What are the stakeholders? Stakeholders are the people who will directly get influence. So stakeholder meaning is that the people who get directly or indirectly impacted by the solution, by the change. See, when you involve a BA, you involve a BA because you want something to be changed, right? You want BA to work on something, right?
Yes.
When you deliver a product, when you come up with a new solution, there will be teams, people, who will get impacted, right? Directly or indirectly. So those people are called stakeholders. Stakeholders are people who get impacted directly or indirectly with your actions, right? So before you actually start developing, you need to talk to them, understand what they need, understand their describe and define. So describe is understanding their pain point, hopes, fears, whatever, and coming up with the solution. This is the solution. Do you agree this works for you? Yes, this is exactly what will work for me. Then you plan, right? As a project managers. So stakeholders, in order to understand. So when you make a decision, right? When you come to me for the training, but if I don't understand your background, I don't understand what you don't understand, then how can I give you a solution? So to understand the company's structure, policies, and operations, what is the objective of the company, right? If the objective is to make money, you'll have to have a different strategy. If objective is to save money, right, reduce cost, you'll have a different strategy. If the objective is to increase customer satisfaction, you'll have a different strategy, right? So structure, policies, and what kind of operations they are into. So you have to understand the business, isn't it? And then you recommend solution. Okay, and the solution will enable the organization to achieve its goals. So understand the goals and then you recommend, and that recommendation will help it to achieve the goals, right? So it has 5 components if I've got it right. First is task. Okay, so how do you know the task? You know the task from stakeholders. That's the second. Then you have techniques. Okay, that is something that you own. Task is something that you're getting from stakeholders. Techniques is something that you own. Then understand the policies. Then recommend the solution. Our job is to recommend solution, not develop the solution. Sometimes we make mistake of developing the solution. Solutions are to be developed by technical people, the project people, not by BAs. Okay, we stop, okay, by recommending solutions. Now, important part is that when you recommend solution, it has to be kind of approved by your project manager, because you cannot recommend a solution which is, Ram cannot talk to you and give you a time which is not suitable for me, right? So when you recommend a solution, you have to also make sure that your technical team understands and they give you go ahead, because ultimately they are going to develop it, correct? So you recommend
Yes.
solution which will help the company to achieve its goal. This is the textbook definition of business analysis. But what we have to remember is there are a few components here like tools and techniques, the stakeholders, their requirements, right? Structure, policies, then recommend solution so that the objectives are met. So if you see that figure here, right, orange and blue. So orange, left side you have business, and on the right side you have technology. So technology are the people who are going to develop the solution. Left side is the business, the stakeholders, who needs the solution. So you are bridging technology and business together. Okay, technology people understand only technology. Business people understands business language only. We as a business analyst, we need to understand both the languages. We need to talk to business people, understand their problem in business language, then talk to technical people, convert that business language into technical language. Okay, so you're bringing business and technology together. Left side business, right side technology. So sometimes you'll hear me talking about left side, right side. When I say left side, business. Right side, technology. You're bringing business and technologies together. Okay, and who's a business analyst? Simple. The person who does business analysis. We know what business analysis is. Person who performs business analysis activities are called business analysts. Their role, title, designation could be different. Okay, it's not about the role designation. Okay, your designation could be something else, but still you could be a business analyst. Okay, so business analyst is a person who performs the activities that we discussed. All good so far?
Yes.
Awesome. So what is business analysis process? What you see here is business analysis process. Okay, business analysis process, okay, starts with analyze the enterprise. The business is analyzed. Okay, see, there are two main types of diagram here. One is rectangle, another is that rectangle with the cut at the bottom, you see. So the perfect rectangle are the business process, BA process, okay? And the cut rectangle that you see is the documentation. So you perform analyze the enterprise and you create decision package document, okay? So every step is followed by a documentation. So as a BA, you'll be handling with documents, lot of documents. Document writing, document explaining, reading, all those things are important skill. So when you say enterprise analysis, it's about understanding the current problem. Okay, and decision package, you will recommend the solution. So you'll say, okay, I looked at these things, and we feel that we need to focus on customer satisfaction. And customer satisfaction means we have to improve the process. Okay, so when you talk about analyze the enterprise, okay, it is about understanding the current situation of the business, what it needs to do, how can we grow it, etc., etc. Right? So this is called analyzing the enterprise. Once you do that, you create the document and you present it to the management, saying we have analyzed the business, and I think we need to do this. Okay, now you have to justify why. And if your management agrees, your management says, yes, what you say is right, and I agree to you, then you get go ahead decision. That means let's do it. If you're not able to convince your management, because management is after all responsible for the business, isn't it? And they are one who's going to sponsor it. They're going to give you the money for executing the business. Okay, so they are responsible for everything. So they have to say yes, they have to give you money. Second thing, and third thing is, if the management is not with you, And if you want to execute something, nobody will listen to you.
Yes.
CEO says, I want to do this. And then when you go to them saying that, see, CEO is saying this, and this is part of his project, everybody will support you, right? So that's why it is important that we get go ahead from the management to tell to the entire company that management is with us on this project. If management doesn't say yes, nobody in the company will have time for your project. And if management says yes, everybody will find time for your project, isn't it? Because they have to show that, you know, they have worked on the project which CEO thinks is important. We are going to expand every process. Okay, I'm going to explain you at a very high level now. That's what I said, right? 40,000 feet high. And slowly we'll expand this. Okay, we'll talk about what are different activities that we perform, what are different kind of documents that we create, all those things we'll do it. But at this stage, okay, let's understand at a high level. So analyzing the enterprise is about understanding the enterprise, understanding the business, and then come up with your recommendation as document. Okay, once management says yes, let's do it. If says no, you go back. That's why the arrow is going back to it. Okay, management says no, you go back and you redo it. If they say yes, then there's no stopping, there's no looking back. Okay, you next step is called define the vision and scope. Okay, vision and scope is what do you foresee with this change. Okay, and scope talks about what is included and what is not included. Okay, so you talk about improving the customer satisfaction score. The vision is to improve the customer satisfaction score from 50% to 65%. That's the vision. You need to know what's the value today, right? It's only 50%, because if you can't measure, there's no point. Now, if there's no way for you to measure your knowledge, your skills, okay, now let's say, you know, you had some skills before you enrolled for this training. After the training, when I say training is done, okay, and if there's no way to know, you know, what you have learned new, there's no point of learning, isn't it? You should know what you have learned new, right? You should be comfortable, okay, handling VA question, interview questions, okay, may not be 100%, but at least to 80%, 90%. That's when you say that, okay, you have learned something. So there has to be a way to measure. If you can't measure, there's no point doing it, okay? So scope and vision. Vision is to know what you want to do. Scope talks about what you should, what is included, what is not included. So when you say that vision is to improve the score from 50 to 65%, great. Scope is, okay, now if you're developing a CRM solutions, customer relationship management, that is in scope, right? That will definitely help you to know about your customer better and, you know, handle their request better. So that is perfectly fine. But if you talk about say payroll problem, right? Let's say, you know, your employees have problem with the payroll, and so now handling payroll is out of scope, because that's not going to improve your customer satisfaction score. Yes, that is also a problem. So maybe you can have a parallel project, or next year you might look at it. But your focus is right now to improve the customer satisfaction score. That's where you have to focus. Okay, working on something else is out of scope. So you talk about what is in scope and what is not in scope. Okay, not in scope will be thousands of things. So we don't get into all the 1,000 things. We look at few things which probably are on the borderline. Okay, when I say payroll, I clearly know that, oh no, this is nothing to do with customer satisfaction. But if there's something to do with customer, okay, but that is not going to improve the score, that you will say working on so and so project is not included here or is out of scope. So you look at the things which are, you know, in the borderline range, right?
Yes.
Do you want to do Java? You will simply say no, because, you know, that is totally out of scope. But do you want to do some other thing which you might feel, oh, this might be or may not be relevant to BA? Then that's when you will start thinking. So then I say, no, that is not included. Oh, yes, that is included, right? So we look at things which are on borderline so that we either mark it out of scope or in scope, which is totally out and out. There's no need to mention that. So we end up creating what is called as vision and scope report. Was there a question there?
No.
Then the third step is called planning requirements. So, okay, so now vision means everybody in the company is with you. Okay, everybody has to follow because that's what management wants. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, next thing is plan. Now you want to develop a CRM software. That's what you came to know from the scope document. Scope means what we need to deliver, isn't it? So
yes.
the answer is that we need to develop a CRM software, customer relationship management. Then the next step talks about planning requirements. Who will tell you what is to be included in CRM? The stakeholder. This is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Tasks. Okay. So now you know that yes, this is what I want to do. Describe and define is done. Now you talk about tasks. So talk to stakeholders. Talk to stakeholders who will be using your product and okay, get their idea about CRM. They will tell you what CRM is. They will tell you, what should be included. People who generally work with customers, they will say, okay, see, these are capabilities which I don't have right now, and I want these capabilities. I don't know, how much customer paid for it and for how long they are using it. Are they customers or not? I don't have those information. So those information you will start building it, right? So you need to talk to the user, okay, the stakeholders who will be using the software in the future. You'll go today and you'll ask them what capabilities they need. Then you will build it and these people will like it, right? So planning requirements means getting to the end, the user, the stakeholders, and getting the requirements. So you have a document called requirements work plan. Okay. Now planning, see here we are doing the planning. Now this planning is similar but not exactly the same as the planning that we discussed in project management. Here, because BA activity is also kind of project only, right? Talking to different stakeholders. So you need to plan, like, who are the stakeholders? Whom you will go and talk? What kind of questions you will ask them? Okay, is it physical meeting, online meeting? Right? Physical meeting, probably you can take notebook and ask them questions. But if it's online meeting, or let's say it's not even live meeting, you have to send an email to them and you're expecting response to the email, right?
Yes.
These are different ways you can get information from different people, right? Say end users, if end users are, thousands, then you cannot meet everyone. So you have to create some kind of survey document. Okay. So the work plan document talks about how are you going to execute the plan for getting the requirements. Okay. And then we have elicit requirements. Elicit requirement is supposed to be the core job of BA. This is where you go and interact with customer and you get the requirement from customer. So eliciting requirements, okay, there's no document associated with it. So there's no document for it because this process is so, that exhaustive, okay, that the document will also be a very exhaustive document. So the next step that you see, analyzing and documenting the requirements, that the documenting requirements has become a stage because this is a so heavy work that you will be doing, right? So we have put the step and the documentation separately.
Hello.
Yes. Did you get it?
The last few seconds, your voice was like.
I was not talking. I stopped talking. I wanted, to hear from you.
Yeah, I got it.
Right? Yeah. So, okay. So eliciting is the core job, and documentation is so important that we have created a separate, stage itself. And what you create here is called BRD, Business Requirements Document.
Okay.
Okay. So BRD is created, and that's when, okay, after BRD, okay, the technical team comes into picture. So BRD document is shared with the technical team. Okay, they will develop the product. Once they develop the product, it comes back to BA. Sorry, yeah, it comes back to BAs again. Okay, you have to evaluate, assess that the product that they have created, does it meet the requirements or not, or whatever requirements that we created in the first phase, are they being fulfilled? So we create test plans. So test plan execution is part of the QA team, quality assurance team, but you are involved there because you are very much interested to know the result. Matches or no matches. If the QA says yes, the requirements are perfect, they're done, you'll be happy and you will take it to customer. If they say no, there's something wrong, it doesn't match, then you'll get, you will get deeper into that and you'll try to understand why it is not getting matched. Okay, and finally, if everything is fine, your customer will approve saying yes, all our requirements are matched, and they will make the payment to you. So what are the different steps that are involved here?
Hello.
Yes. Asking question. So what are the different steps that we have seen that are involved here?
That analyzing from starting step, you're asking like before the eliciting requirements. Like we need to define the vision and scope, and then vision and scope report, we need to make that report, and then planning requirements work plan. And then eliciting requirements is the main part of the business analyst. It's a core part. And then we need to analyze the documents and requirements, and also BRD, you said. And then accessing the validating the requirements, like it will reach the requirements of the stakeholder or not. We need to assess the and validate the requirements, and then test plan.
Exactly. Okay, so these are the core business processes. Okay, and if you talk about as a BA, what is more important and where you'll be working more, it is the eliciting requirements. Okay,
yes.
Eliciting requirement is where you'll be working more, because above these are done by the senior BAs, and below these are mostly done by the QA and the technical people who come from technical background.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, so out of all this is very, very important. So I would say almost maybe 70 to 80% questions, or maybe 100% questions will come from this part one. Yeah, but we'll study everything. We'll focus more time here. Okay. So yes, we have last 10 minutes. So the exercise which I wanted you to do was you go through the different job requirements. You come from a background, so you know how to look for jobs, right? So you look at different job portals, look at the different jobs, and you see those BA requirements. When you read the BA requirements, if you feel that this job is not for you and maybe you are not interested in this job, okay? Let's take from that point of view, that you are not interested in that job, ignore it. When you see it, oh, this is the kind of job I want to do. Okay, if that is the case, this is the kind of job I want to do, then you look at all the job descriptions and put that in a Excel file in sequence.
Okay.
Copy the job description.
Which I want to do and which I don't want to do. Like
no. Which you don't want to do, ignore it. Don't even look at it. Don't even read it. You of course you will know only by reading it, right? Once you read it, just close it. What you want to do, copy the job descriptions in your Excel file. Okay, do at least 10 to 15 to 20. Okay, 20 will be too much, but 10 to 15 should be good enough. And you keep on adding the job descriptions. If you find duplicate, remove, add only once. Okay, you don't have to do it twice or thrice. Whatever is repeating, you do it. So what will happen is, end of that exercise, you will have 30, 40, 50 such requirements, right? Job descriptions. Mostly, I think you'll have about 30 to 40 requirements. Okay. Now you go through, once you are done, okay, I'm going through 10 to 12, 15 job descriptions, and you have that list of 40 to 50 job description requirements by the companies. You go and see how much you already know and how much you don't know. So maybe out of 50, you might know only 5. That means your current knowledge is at 10%, right? And okay, now after that, you go and then you hold on, okay? Don't even see it. When I tell you we are done with BA,
okay,
I told you 60% is BA, 40% we will be doing the other things in IT. So when I say BA is done, 60% course is done, BA is done, you go back and see how much you know again.
Okay.
Right? So earlier, if you had known 5, now you should have known at least 40, right? Or 30, 35. And then you come back to me saying, Saurav, this is what you told me in the beginning. I have done the 50. I understand out of these 35 or 40 that you told me, I'm comfortable, or it would be like that. These 30, I'm comfortable. I have no doubt. But these 10, I know you told me, but I don't feel comfortable. Can you please explain me again? Okay. So fine, I will explain you again. And then I'll say, okay, so these 10 I didn't understand. And these 10, I think you have not covered. Can you please have a look at it? Now see, one, BA is a very vast and, it's so different, right? BA roles are totally different roles, right? So it is possible, I'm saying it's possible that there could be a few things which you may be interested in and I may not have in my presentation or in the notes. Okay, you bring it to me saying these 10 things I don't understand, I have not heard you talking about. Then probably out of 10 things, 5 things would be something which I have covered, but in different format or in different name. So I'll tell you, this is same as this, what I told you, and this is what it is. And still we might end up with 5, which I have not done it. So I will take time to complete those 5 as well. So idea is when we say Tata bye-bye, you should have known 100% of all those requirements.
Yeah.
If you don't understand, ask me again. Ask me again.
Sure.
Okay. So if something we have not done it, we will do it. Okay. Either I will do it or I'll find it out and I'll share with you, but we will cover in the course.
Sure.
Okay. So that's what, when we say end, you should be 100% sure about those requirements that you are expected to face, in the interviews. Of course, post that, you can reach out to Ram and, but we don't want to do that, right? You don't want to reach out to me in the last minute, correct? If I'm not able to answer, then, let's say you have interview tomorrow and you ask something today, and if I don't answer you, then probably the doubt remains. That's why I want you to do it beforehand. Okay. All the sessions are getting recorded. You will get the videos. I'll give you the PDF documents. Okay. So you'll have the PDF documents to refer. All those things I'll do it from my end. But this is one thing I want you to do it so that, we can end the training on a on a high note where you are also super excited, feeling confident, and I'm also feeling confident. Yes, I've answered all the queries that the participants had.
Yeah.
Sounds good?
Yeah, it sounds.
So take your time, okay, because we'll be doing it only at the end of the course, but I say take your time, don't take too many days. Try to do it by today or by tomorrow, okay, because I'll be giving you mini assignments almost every day. So you'll have something to work on almost every day. So sooner you finish, better it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the different steps, and this is the assignment for today. We still have 3 minutes, so let's continue. Okay, let's take a look at some smaller topics.
Okay.
So traceability is one such topic. Okay, now we spoke about different documents. We spoke about business need. Business need is what you end up creating at the stage 1. Okay, then you end up creating scope and feature document, then the requirements document, and finally the technical specification. So see, business need is from the business. Vision and scope feature is from, again, from the business perspective, but it's more from the department perspective. Business need would be one. We want to improve, customer satisfaction rate ratio or customer satisfaction value. One need.
Yes.
What it would mean for the businesses. We need to develop CRM. We need to have capability to track customer sales. We need to do this, that. There could be 3, 4, okay, related stuff. Then comes the requirement. Okay, as I said, this is the core job. So the requirements are from the user perspective, the hands-on.
Yes.
What does that people need? What does the account managers need? What does the sales people need? What does support people need? Right. So requirements will come from the end user, who is going to use the software. Okay, and this is the core activity, right? Once you have created what we call as BRD, then you give to technical team. A technical team will come up with another document which is more technical in nature. They are called as SRS document. Okay, software requirement specifications. So business need, which could be just 1 or 2 lines, then talk about business scope, what it means for every department, right? What it means for sales, for account managers, for support, right? Then you create requirements, which is more from the user perspective, and then the technical documents. So traceability, see, you might end up creating not 50, but maybe say 30 specifications. All those 30 specifications should be linked to the requirements. Okay, you might have 20 requirements. 20 requirements might get translated into 30 specifications. Every specification requirements has to be linked. If you have a specification which is not linked to requirements, that means you are developing something new which is not there, which is not required. If there's a requirement which is not getting connected to specification, it does not have any specification, that means you have something to deliver, but you are not doing it. Now, again, if we compare it to our training, we have the syllabus, right? So syllabus, when I cover something which is not there in the syllabus, we are probably wasting our time, not required. Why are we doing it?
Yes.
Okay, so that is like not linked backwards. Specification not linked to requirements, or requirements not linked to vision, scope document, and scope not linked to the business need. If you have something in the syllabus and I'm not covering, that is incomplete, right?
Yes.
So if you have a requirement not connected to specification, that is the problem. If you have a vision not connected to requirements, the problem. If you have business need not connected to scope, is a problem. So forward traceability is about not delivering something if linkage is missing.